Ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Congratulations on your abundance. I love starting the show with this because I want to remind us all of our incredible abundance as we look around our homes and our cars or whatever we're doing down at our phone. We have so much, and I feel really, really privileged and abundant right now. We just finished our very first retreat center at Upaya Retreat Center here, and it was epic and amazing. And I was given one of the most beautiful gifts I've ever been given in my life from my very most favorite artist, Ivan Guadarrama. And I have a little video to show of his art gallery and the beautiful painting that I received as a gift for the opening of the retreat center. So here it is. He has a heart to embrace and enlarge the heart and change the world with his art. It's interactive. You can play the piano there. It's all around the world. There's 47,000 people have his art around the world sharing love. He's an amazing soul, and he actually came personally to give me this, to deliver this beautiful painting of a heart. And you can't see it, but in the bottom right corner it says dream. I'm all emotional because it's my favorite thing to do is to help people dream and to dream big and to have that experience of expansion. And so I just feel so grateful for that beautiful gift. So what are you thankful for? How are you abundant? As you ask that question, may it fill you and expand your heart. Today, I'm so excited about this episode. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to answer the question, which is, how do you take responsibility for the shit you created in your life? And how do you clean it up? We're all responsible for the glorious and the messy. And so how do we take responsibility for that? We're going to talk about that. I'm so excited to introduce you to Dr. Stephen Klayman. He is an amazing chiropractor. He's been in the business for over 30 years. He works outside the box in helping people heal and be free of their pain. He's helped my sons and I get clear of our allergies. He helps me keep my right leg even with my left leg. We're going to get into that. If you have any back pain, headaches, he's literally going to go over that today and how to cure them, how to take care of them quickly and easily yourself. And we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Stay tuned to the end for Mantra Magic. You'll get your new mantra for the week. And remember the blessing at the end of meditation moment as well. It's a life hack full show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your very precious time with us. All right. So right now it is time to change your state, elevate. And this is to raise our frequency. We are energy. And the more we can stay in a high frequency, the better our life is, period. So one of my favorites is the running in place. So I want you to stand up. If you're driving, of course, don't do this. If you're driving, I want you to breathe deep into your belly, okay? But if you're not driving, I want you to stop whatever you're doing, get the kids involved, and we're gonna run in place. So I'm gonna just fix here. All right, 1 second. All right, so you're gonna put your left foot forward and you're gonna run like this from cheek to cheek, okay? And we're gonna go hard. You're gonna keep your core strong, okay? Don't let things fly around. Keep it strong, and we're gonna go like we mean it, okay? And remember to breathe. Ready, set, go. Keep breathing. Keep your core tight. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. My beads are all rattling here. All right, and then go to the other foot. Whatever foot you did before, do the opposite now. Now it's my right foot. All right, and we're gonna go hard. Ready, set, go. Go hard. I don't care if you look silly, this works. Go hard, keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Awesome. All right, have a seat. Now, if you're there on Facebook, thank you for being here. Please interact. I want to hear your comments. I want to know if you feel better now or worse. I don't believe that's going to happen, but do you feel better or not after that little exercise? Let me know. I want to know. Let me see. All right, we got Rudy and Judith, Jolene, Christine. Wow, thanks, guys. Great to see you. Awesome. Thank you for being here. All right, change your state, elevate. We want to change our frequency. Change your frequency, change your life. All right, and these are 2-minute little tips and tricks on how to raise your frequency. We don't breathe enough, we don't move enough, and you can do that in the middle of the day. You can do that before an important meeting. You can do that almost anywhere, and it'll change how you feel. So if you have your kids are a little out of sorts, do that. It'll make a difference as well. Awesome. All right. We're going to answer the question this week, which is, how do you take responsibility for the shit you created in your life, and how do you clean it up? All right, so as I was answering this question for myself, I realized, especially in the subject of being in an abusive marriage, and for years, I felt like I was the victim, yeah? 8 years of abuse, it was very bad, it was life-threatening, and so this monumental moment happened when my coach sat down with me and he says, "What's your responsibility in it?" And I was like, "What? I was the victim." And he's like, "What's your responsibility in it?" And I was like, "Wow, okay, let me look at this." And when I did, I realized, well, here's the thing, guys. Everyone in our life is a mirror to ourselves. If we see something in somebody else, it's also in us. And so as I looked at it, we're going to call my ex Joe, because I'm not no desire to out anybody. I just want to learn and grow from my story. And so Joe was a bully. And so I'm like, okay, if Joe is a bully, then where am I a bully? Right? How did this happen? How did I manifest this? What was my part in it? I'm not going to claim it all, but I need to claim my part. Right? And so when I looked at him, like, oh, wow, I said, I was a bully to my sister. Like, bad. I was a tomboy. I played soccer and hockey, and I had the soccer posters and the trophies and all the sports equipment on my side of the room. And my sister was a beautiful girly girl and played with dolls and had everything was pink and beautiful, and I could not relate. And instead of appreciating her, I scorned her, and I showed my strength. And sometimes I beat up on her, and I wasn't nice at all. And so I was like, whoa, okay. I have that in me. The other thing I had to face was the fact that my belief system was that I didn't have value, right? So if I actually felt I had value, then I wouldn't have stayed. I wouldn't have stayed so long. And for a long time, I blamed the mission organization I was with. I blamed the church for putting the idea in my mind that once you're married, you're always married and there's no out. But eventually I left. So I had to call bullshit on myself and say, no, you left. So at least at one point, you were able to go. And so I had to claim and take responsibility for the fact that I stayed a lot longer than I had to, than I maybe should have. And what was the impact? What was the impact on the people in my life by me staying? Right? And so I want to put this up here for you. And these are the questions, these are the steps to go through to ask yourself and to take responsibility. So the first step is to ask yourself, what is my responsibility in this situation? What did I have to believe about my life, people, myself, to tolerate this? And that's when I realized that I didn't have value. I didn't believe that I had value. This realizations aren't easy, but they're magical in that they set you free. Because once you know and you're aware, then you have the choice to do something about it, right? And what did I do to contribute to the situation? Step 2 is ask yourself, who has been affected by my actions? And then apologize to them. So I have apologized to my sister so many times, and she keeps saying, it's done, it's done. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Because I was mean. I was mean. And then I got a good taste of it myself, right? And so I took responsibility for that, and I apologized for that. And I've apologized to my boys for staying so long. I should have left 6 months into my relationship, and I stayed 8 years. It's not, that affected my kids. I had to apologize to my family because my life choices affected my family, right? And they were at the end happy and okay to do it for me and all of that, but it impacted them. And so meeting with them and speaking to them, and then here are some good questions to ask when you do take that step to clean up and apologize, is to ask them, how did my actions affect you specifically? And then shut up and just be quiet and listen. Don't interrupt, don't defend, just listen. How did you impact them? You probably don't have any idea. My parents sacrificed so much time taking care of my kids so I could work and all the things I needed to do as a single mom, right? How did my actions impact them? Ask the question. And then ask again, what else? And listen and watch the magic and the healing that takes place. It's really amazing. And then here's the third step. Take new and inspired action. In order to get a different result, you got to do it different. So you better figure out what you want to do next that's different than what you've been doing so that you can experience a different result. And you can ask yourself, if you don't want to be here, where do I want to be? Right? Who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? What might I have to do? Who might I have to be in order to get the result and have the experience that I want? So take a picture of this so you can have it, save it, go over it, take some time and really dig deep into some of the things that in your life that maybe you haven't cleaned up that would be helpful to clean up. In the chat, I would love to know if this was helpful at all, what your thoughts are, if anything came to mind for you on what you know you need to clean up. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So great. All right. So here we go. I am so excited to introduce you to an amazing human. I'm going to read his bio here for you. Dr. Stephen Klayman attended Palmer College Chiropractor and graduated with honors. He has been in practice for over 30 years. He is the inventor of the pelvic balancer, a device designed to restore the normal position of the hips. He's also the co-inventor of the TBM allergy harmonization technique, which is a non-invasive method of correcting airborne and food allergies. He has lectured at various chiropractic seminars and teaches a course for practitioners and lay people called Fix Your Own Ass and other things too. He's my kind of guy. He is licensed to practice chiropractic in the state of Texas, where he resides in Austin. He also has been a practitioner of meditation for over 50 years. He spent 6 years in residence at the Devi Mandir, the Temple of the Divine Mother, with his guru, Sri Ma, and has traveled to India 12 times to participate in numerous spiritual practices. In 2022, he and 600 others from around the world, including me, spent 28 days in a silent meditation retreat in the Ekam temple designed to produce states of enlightenment. His numerous instructors and gurus include Dr. Viktor Frankl, Shrima Swami Satyananda Saraswati, so sorry if I'm butchering these names, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, Shiva Ruda Balayogi. In addition, he has met numerous saints and sages in his travels and explorations. Put some love in the chat, drum roll, for the amazing Dr. Stephen Klayman.
Thank you. That was quite a build-up.
That's the plan. Awesome. So great to have you here, Stephen. Thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom. You have so much to share. I already know I'm going to have you back again because there's just too much in the short time that we have together. But for 1 to 2 minutes, I would love for you just to connect with the audience and give them a little taste of who is Stephen Klayman in your own words.
Well, I started out as a chiropractor doing backs and necks. And I thought that's what I was going to do. You know, most of the assumptions in our life turn out to be wrong. Fortunately, that one did also. Because about 5 years into my practice, I met Dr. Viktor Frankl, and I started taking his seminars and learning muscle testing, kinesiology, and how to fix other things besides backs and necks. And when I got back from his first seminar, and I fixed this woman's asthma in one visit, I thought to myself, oh my God, this stuff really works. And so I went on, and I've been using these types of techniques throughout the years. And now probably a third of my practice is allergies. And a lot of it is acid reflux and bowel disturbances and respiratory problems, in addition to the, back pain, neck pain, and things like that. And then about 12 years ago, I invented the pelvic balancer, which allows a person to correct their own hips on their own at home. So you don't have to go into the chiropractor so much. So I'd say there's a moral obligation to help people that I feel I take the Hippocratic Oath very seriously. And there's a moral obligation to help them if we can. And so that's how I base my practice and how I run my life.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're going to get into helping back pain and headaches here in a little bit. But first of all, I want to ask you about your time in India, because we shared that experience together. And what was your biggest takeaway there? What could you share with our audience that would help them as they move forward in life?
You know, we all think we're so smart. We all think we know it all. It's when you recognize how little you really know that you can become a student. And so after spent 6 years in an ashram, a spiritual retreat center, I retired in 1999, and I was out of practice for about 9.5 to 10 years. But 6 of those were spent in an ashram in Napa, California, with an amazing guru, Sri Ma. And we did a lot of spiritual practices. So I thought I knew a lot. And then when I got introduced to Diksha, which is the passing on through the hands of the divine energy, after my first experience, I had to go to India and learn how to do that, which was 2005. And I've been going back to the Ekam temple, except for COVID, just about every year. And this is going to be hard for people to believe. They have the ability to impress higher states of consciousness into your consciousness. And so you experience what it is to be enlightened. And in most cases, that fades. You go back home and you do the practices, but some of it fades, and you go back and you strengthen it. And so you and I met at this 28-day retreat called Tapas in South India. And much of the experience that we gained there has stayed, and full enlightenment has not yet dawned, but experiencing states of enlightenment.
And
it's
can
really,
you,
yeah,
sorry, and can you define enlightenment?
yeah, you're either suffering or you're not suffering. There are two states. You're suffering or you're not suffering.
Exactly. And they speak about you're either in a beautiful state or a suffering state, right?
And all suffering comes from fear of loss, loss of health, loss of wealth, loss of status, loss of your boyfriend, loss of your girlfriend, loss of your child. It all has to do with loss and the fear of that loss, and then taking that loss that you experienced in the past, projecting it into the future, and hoping that that future does not become mine. And that's called daydreaming. So when the fear leaves, and just a state of bliss and happiness, even in the midst of unpleasant circumstances, exists, we can call that enlightenment.
Exactly. And they actually explain in daydreaming as daymaring, like a nightmare, but it's in the daytime, right? Because we're so often in our messed up past and we're creating a messed up future, and we're suffering almost constantly when we don't have to, right? Yeah. And it's fascinating to be in their level of frequency. Can you speak to that, the frequency that we experience there?
Well, it's quite spectacular, and it wasn't easy. I mean, these 28 days were not easy because you're doing a lot of various spiritual practices, and most minutes of the day are taken up on a schedule. But with some very high beings who are helping us along, because as much as people have done their spiritual practices for all these past decades, you need help. All the great saints, more than likely, they all had help. They all had some sort of grace that allowed them to achieve the states of enlightenment that they achieved. And so at this Ekam, there are avatars there, enlightened beings who are helping us. And we need that help. And it's okay to admit it. You can't do it on your own. I don't really know anybody else has done it on their own.
Exactly. Absolutely. For me, for this experience, I say this, that it was the most profound thing I've ever done in my life for myself and for the planet. And the reason I say that with as much conviction as that I have is because of the frequency. Our frequencies were raised so much that you're not the same person. And when we raise our frequency, we change the world, because that vibration goes out, and we vibrate and create at the frequency at which we vibrate. So if you're at a 3 or 4 vibration out of 10, let's say, then that's what we're creating. We're creating level 3 and 4 problems, thoughts, experiences, right? And this is why we spend that 2 minutes at the beginning of the show every week, so that we learn how to raise our frequency. And of course, going to India and doing this course was a big step in raising the frequency of ourselves. And we watched 600 people do that, and it was amazing from all over the world. Like, words don't really work when trying to talk about this, but Doc and I met in a very interesting way. Why don't you explain how we met on the sidewalk that day?
Your friend Rudy, who's on this chat right now.
Yes.
Hello there,
Yeah,
Rudy.
Rudy's on.
He came over to me and he said, Chrissy's laying on the sidewalk in pain. You think you can go over and help her? So I said, sure. So I got up. By the time I got over to her, you were there with her, and you were doing your thing, which is quite magical. And the two of us together worked on her for over an hour. We got her up. We got her mostly out of pain. And that evening, when we went to the small group, you weren't in the same small group as myself. But Chrissy, when somebody said, Chrissy, anyone want to share? And Chrissy said, I'll share. She says, what do you want to say? She says, there's some really weird people here, but they're amazing. And she pointed to me and she said, Steve and this girl, Amy, helped me when I was in so much pain because we've been sitting so long. And I've got a back issue to begin with. And was sitting so many hours doing all these practices, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And the two of them together got me up and almost out of pain, and it was amazing. So that's how Amy and I met.
It was pretty epic. When it was over, we kind of looked at each other and we're like, huh, I'm pretty sure we need to do that again.
Yes. And so I had Amy come up to my clinic in Texas and work on some of my patients because she works from a different angle that I work from. And she is able to, I don't know if you ever talked about this on your show.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
She's able to find old traumas and help remove them. Because a lot of the stuff that we go through and live in our life is from the past. Old traumas show up either physically or psychologically, and she has a gift. And she's able to help people get their shit together. So right now, you see this is a great book. I sell it in my clinic. But I think if you see this book, you'll realize why I say we're on a roll.
Oh my God. Oh, you're the best. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah, there's the emotional side and the physical side, and the emotional stuff creates the physical pain. And then if we remove the emotion and the stacked energy, then the body is an amazing healer. And Steve steps in and works on the physical side, and together it's pretty epic. So yeah,
thing that
so grateful.
I stress with my patients is the work I do with kinesiology. It's not an intellectual process. It's not like you come in with this and I'll figure out what's wrong with you. My mentor, Dr. Frank, who was a genius, who taught thousands of us, he had a saying. It said, anything can cause anything. So I had a medical doctor in this morning who I was treating, and I was explaining to her how, for instance, a misaligned big toe could cause headaches because it has effects all the way up and down the spine. Or it could be from an organ system that could be causing her headaches. So when you think you know it all, the body will show you otherwise. And frequently we'll fix things that seem to have nothing to do with that particular problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why kinesiology is so valuable, both financially, because you could figure this stuff out sometimes very quickly. You don't have to spend $1,200 on an MRI to figure out if this problem is being caused by a bulging disc.
Okay, so let's back up for everyone's sake. What's kinesiology?
Kinesiology means the study of muscles and its testing.
Okay.
So for instance, many years ago, two medical doctors wrote a book. Their names were Kendall and Kendall, and they wrote a book on muscle testing. And they said you can test a bicep like this and the other bicep like that. And if one bicep weakens, then you know you have damage to that bicep. It's, pretty simple. Out of that process of muscle testing, we found that we could test various organs and systems and vertebrae and find out if they were in a weakened condition. And then if we could do something to strengthen that muscle, we did something to help that condition. Does that make sense?
Yes, I
Yes.
love muscle testing. I believe in it strongly. And Dr. Einstein from last week talked about muscle testing as well, and telemedicine, and being able to help people virtually just through muscle testing. So it's quite epic, and absolutely real, and works, as
Yeah.
as we know. I mean, you've worked on my headaches from Austin, and I've been in Mexico, and they go away. I mean, that's the reality. So it's awesome. I want to ask you this very amazing question, if I may say so myself. What is the most spectacular treatment that you do?
Fibromyalgia.
Whoa, okay, tell me more.
Fibromyalgia is a chronic, usually lifelong, debilitating illness, which causes pain in all the joints.
Yep.
It also usually has disrupted sleep patterns. It can have flu-like symptoms, and some people have to stop working because of it.
Mhm.
Dr. Frank taught us it's about a 10-step procedure for fibromyalgia. And actually, we did that in Cabo when I was there about 2 months ago.
Yes.
If you remember, Ruth came down. She was an 80-year-old woman. She said she had multiple bilateral, means both sides, joint pain, both ankles, both knees, both elbows, both hips, both shoulders, etc. And when we did the muscle testing, I found out she doesn't have arthritis. She's got fibromyalgia. And we did the fibromyalgia adjustment right there. And she gets off the table.
She jumps off the table.
And she said, I'm standing up straighter, and my joints hardly hurt at all anymore.
Yeah.
And when I told you that I thought it was fibromyalgia, you were a little excited about that, because I've shown you some of the fibromyalgia cases, and usually they respond in one visit.
It's
so
amazing.
It's absolutely spectacular. And people find it very difficult to believe. And it's a regular cost of an adjustment.
Wow. If you know anyone, guys, ladies, gentlemen, people, if you know anyone who has fibromyalgia, here's the number to call. You'll be talking to Kim. She's an amazing, amazing human as well. And she guards the gate for Doc. And she's awesome. She'll be answering your call. But please send any loved ones who have fibromyalgia to get relief from their pain. We'll be right back after this small commercial, but stay with us, because we're going to learn how to get rid of back pain, headaches, and he has an incredible gift for us today. So stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Be right back. Awesome. Welcome back. We got Dr. Stephen Klayman with us. We're talking about how to get healed from fibromyalgia. Again, I'm going to put the number up if you're just joining us now. This is the number to call if you know anyone who has fibromyalgia. Please send them to Dr. K. He is going to help relieve them of their suffering. So awesome. So I want to talk now, Doc, about how do you get rid of headaches? Like, can you actually do that without Tylenol or Advil or something?
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
So most headaches are tension headaches.
Mm-hmm.
If you see an aura or you're throwing up, then that may be a migraine. Even severe tension headaches can be pretty nasty. But there are 8 consecutive acupuncture points that my acupuncture instructor many years ago taught us. And matter of fact, he said to us in the class, he said, I want somebody who has a headache to come up here. I'm going to get rid of your headache in less than 2 minutes. And if I don't, I'm going to set my hair on fire.
Whoa.
And in those days, I had a full head of hair and I was kind of a wise guy. So I said, it wouldn't be much of a fire, would it? He didn't like that. But he taught us those 8 consecutive acupuncture points, which we're going to show in the video, correct?
Yes, all right, I'll put that right up
The
there.
first two, everybody knows these 2 points, are right where the index finger and the thumb meet, right at that juncture. So you want to take your pen or the end of a spoon, and you want to put it right in there and tap in there. All these are points about 5 to 8 seconds. You tap that point, and you point it towards your elbow. So it's going to look like this. Five to 8 seconds. It doesn't matter which hand you start on. Do either hand. So we do both those points. 3 and 4 is going to be at the base of the skull, 1 to 1.5 inches off the midline. So if you feel under your skull, when you bring your head back, you feel a little groove, a little indentation off the midline. Those are on either side. Those are points number 3 and 4. So you just come in with our pen or our teishin, and we just tap in there. There's another point up there that we're gonna find, and we're gonna tap on it. Again, 5 to 8 seconds. That's point number 5. Point number 6 is right between the eyes, right where you would call it the third eye. So we come in here. Can you see this? Keep your eyes closed. Right in there. Point number 6, right here. Point number 7 is going to be at the hairline, or where the hairline was, in my case, like right here. So with Kim, it's going to be right here. Again, 5 to 8 seconds. And this is in this sequence. You want to keep the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be at the base of the skull, right in the midline. So you feel the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be at the base of the skull, right in the midline. So you feel the bottom of the skull, where the skull meets the neck, right in the middle, and you go in there, again, 5 to 8 seconds.
Awesome. Totally works. I use this trick often. I am a sufferer of headaches and migraines, and it even helps with migraines. Often it helps. So I hope you took notes on that, or watch the replay and make sure you get that down. I would love to talk more about that, but for time, I want to make sure we get to the keeping our hips straight. So talk about that, Dr. Klayman. How do we do that?
So back pain can have multiple causes. I want to teach people how to distinguish between back and or sciatic pain, which means sciatic pain means pain going down the butt into the leg. If it's being caused by a disc bulge, or it's being caused by the facets, and I'm going to explain what facets are. Most people never heard of facet syndrome. It's common. If we did an MRI on 100 people with no back pain, we would find a third of them show bulging discs, even though they have no pain, which means that bulging discs are not always the cause of back pain and sciatic pain. So with that in mind, there are certain tests that we do and certain questions we ask. One of the questions is, does it hurt when you cough and sneeze and laugh or strain at the stool? That's called Valsalva's maneuver. Any pain, sharp standing pain on any of those is indicative that it might be a disc bulge. Discs are serious because they could end up in surgery. Without that sign, and there are a couple of orthopedic tests that I'll do in my office, but if you don't have pain on coughing and sneezing and laughing and straining, you probably don't have a disc problem. And the problem is probably coming from either the facets or from the vertebrae being rotated out of position. I'm going to show what the facets look like. Two hips, a sacrum in the middle of the hip bones, causing a sacroiliac joint on either side. When you have pain here, that's called a pain in the ass. The facets, however, and we're going to talk about how to fix that in a minute. The facets are these two prongs here that bulge up or ride up into these two prongs in front of it. So I'm going to pull the prongs down so you'll see. See how those prongs come down and go up? Is that pretty clear? See those two prongs there?
Yep.
Here,
yep.
Here and there. Those two prongs ride up into these other two prongs called facets. As you get older, the discs narrow. So these are the discs. As those discs narrow, you get shorter. That's why somebody 5'10" ends up being 5'7" when they get to be 80 years old. The water comes out of the disc, they narrow, but it allows the facets to get closer to the nerve root, which comes out in here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that well.
Yeah.
The nerve root comes out there and the facets can jam into it. So
you have a video for us to show us?
We have a video that shows how to do the pelvic balancer, but people should know that if they're bringing their knees to their chest, takes away the pain or lessens the pain, or going in the fetal position lessens the pain, it's probably facet syndrome and not a disc.
Okay. That's
Okay.
huge.
That's huge.
Thank
The
you.
difference is only about $75,000.
Whoa.
Disc surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those are easy to fix in a good chiropractor's office, the facet syndrome. You traction the patient out and you put them on the side and you pull the facets down, and frequently the pain relief is immediate.
And this is how you've saved many from surgery, correct?
Exactly.
Wow. Awesome.
Now, the
Thank you
second
for
thing I
that.
want to talk about is balancing the hips.
Okay.
So you want to play the video on how the pelvic balancer works. This is a pelvic balancer.
I've got mine too.
Okay. All right.
It's awesome. All right, I'll play that video.
If you
That
lay it
it's
the
either
proper way,
this
balance
way,
the hips.
a high left block, or a high right block. So we're going to do a high left this way for Kim's short right leg. So you go ahead and lay down on that. Hang on. Okay, and down. Good. So go ahead and lie face down. Do you know if you have a leg length and balance?
I think in the past, yes, but I don't know.
Yeah, so look at this. So this is a short right. Again. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. So what I do is I pull down the legs, square up the heels. Everybody has one or both feet that turn in. So this way you don't get a very good idea of the leg length and balance, but you have to square up the heels. And then you get to see. She's got about an inch short on the right. So we would block her the same way. Come on up on all fours. Why don't I let you do it? Okay? Come on up on all fours. That's it, you got it right. Now, is our hip on it? The hip pointer?
Oh, yeah. So make sure the point of your hip is on this.
Yeah, so you got it. Yeah, so it's got. That's it. Okay. Now, let's look at the leg length again. How does it look? Nice and even. Mm-hmm. And move the hips. So we used her weight and her breathing, and it adjusted itself. Mm-hmm. Good. Now, Come on up. What you want to do next is you want to take the device out and then have him lay down again and see, is it still even? And it is. Then what I would do, come on up. It's Hilda, right? Come on up. Let's walk around the room a little bit. So now we're going to stress the hip joint for a minute or 30 seconds. Just take a walk around the room. And then we lay it back down again. And is it still holding? If it's still holding, good, we're done. If it's not, we block it again. Okay, let's go face down. That's it, and put your hands on your forehead. Good. And there it is. That's staying. That's nice and even. See that? That's just what we want. Perfect.
Awesome. Amazing. I've
And
seen it in myself and in many others. It's whew.
That will realign the hips. Now, it may come out. If it comes out, you just do it again. And so they can buy it and do it themselves 2 or 3 times a day. You don't have to do it for 10 seconds. Lay on it, balance the hips, and do it a few times. And after a week or 2, it'll stay. And that'll get rid of the pain in their ass. Because it's the sacroiliac joint that's causing the pain, because that sacroiliac joint is a joint made of ligaments. Those ligaments get stretched when the hips get out of position, and it'll cause pain in the butt, and it can cause groin pain. You put it back together, both of those disappear in a few days.
Amazing. So I put up his website there. He has a course called Fix Your Own Ass and other things too. And he has a beautiful gift for our audience. All you have to do is go on there and do Health Freedom 99, and you will save $250 off of the $299 program. It's amazing. It's an amazing gift. So get it. He has all kinds of other important things that we can do to fix our own ass and to help the loved ones, our loved ones. And then also, if you want a pelvic balancer, just jot down this number, call the office, and you can order your pelvic balancer, and you will save, as long as you order before January 30th, you'll save $20 off the pelvic balancer. So thank you so much, Dr. Klayman, for being here. Thank you for your wisdom. I'll definitely have you back. I know you're full of so much more, and I want to pick your brains. So thank you. And I'll bring you on here at the end. But for now, we'll see you in a bit.
Let's just keep rolling.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So it is now time for Mantra Magic. And Mantra Magic is the part of the show where Kelsey, my beloved friend, comes on and sings a new mantra for us. Mantra is a phrase on a loop that helps us reprogram our minds. And this is the mantra for this week.
Welcome back to Mantra Magic. I'm Kelsey, and this is Monique. Hello. We have brought these beautiful singing bowls this week, along with the bass, and we are going to add this week's mantra above some nice music. I hope you enjoy. By earning what is mine, I accept my truths and I set myself free. By earning what is mine, I set myself free. By earning what is mine, I accept my truths and I set myself free.
Awesome. I love that. So you can go to Amy Joy Coaching on Instagram for the weekly mantra so that you can listen to that over and over again. And right now we are going to go to one of my favorite sections of the show, which is meditation moment. Beautiful. And this is the part where we do a little meditation. It's 5 minutes. It's easy. And I'm going to guide you, so don't worry. And why meditate? As Dr. Klayman said, he spent 50 years studying this and the benefits of it, and it absolutely changes your life. So what you're going to do is just close your eyes. At the end of the meditation, I'm going to share a diksha with you, which is what Dr. Klayman mentioned in the beginning, which is a transfer of energy that just does all kinds of beautiful things. It can heal. It can help relationships. It can there's a long list and we don't have time, but I want you just to receive it. If you don't want to receive it, just set that intention. And if you do, you just set that intention. So just close your eyes and I want you to just breathe 3 conscious breaths. Just pay attention to your breathing. Feel the air leave your nostrils and enter. Now I want you to observe the thoughts that you have right now. Are they from the past? Are they from the present? Or are they of the future? Don't judge them. Don't make them right or wrong. Just observe them. Now I want you to visualize a flame in front of your eyes and just watch that flame. Watch it flicker, that golden light. And then slowly bring the flame into the middle of your forehead. And watch it. And with your hands on your heart, I want you to think about something that you're thankful for. And while you're doing that, I'm going to send you the diksha, the blessing. Beautiful. Awesome. We're going to cover the question of the week. The question of the week is, what if everything you've gone through in life was worth it? And I mean everything. This is the question to ponder this week. What if everything in life was worth it? And I mean everything. We got Dr. Klayman back with us. Dr. Klayman, we have just 20 seconds. Any last words for our audience today?
You guys have an amazing body. Appreciate it and allow it to self-heal. Just find the doctor who is willing to take away the roadblocks. No doctor does any healing. It's all done by the body.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. All right. If you've enjoyed this show, come back. There's past shows you can watch. You can go to amyjoycoaching.com. That's my website if you want some further support from me, coaching or transformational retreats or a healing session. You can check that out. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Remember, together we vibrate higher. Make today glorious. Besos. I love you. Bye. Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.
Fucking think the word.
Support,